I'd like to welcome Jackie Flood, our new town council representative here to the Concom. Thank you for volunteering. Public, do we have any public comment to start? You guys are all here for projects? Perfect. Okay. All right.
Page, public comment. Is this the section?
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna have to come up and sign in, Dawn, and you might as well stay right there for just a moment when you're done too.
Okay. I saw on the agenda that there was no update on the skidder incident on March 24th.
No, unfortunately, there is not yet.
Is there any slowdown or any drawback with DES? Is that the reason?
So DES has been out and did not seem to feel that they found anything worth pursuing. And so we have our own wildlife biologist who's going to pursue the track that he took and
Sure.
make his assessments and get back to us and tell us if he feels that there's something we should bother pursuing or if it's just one of these things where it's unfortunate, but we can't really do much about. So, and then at that point, we're going to have to just go through the legal means of,
Sure.
what are we going to do for trespass, timber trespass, and our decision from there.
I wish I had known. I could have met the DES people and showed them the specific areas that we were concerned about.
I may be calling you anyways because when Jeff comes out, he wants to know what we felt were the worst areas. So
Okay.
he's just going to try to take the track. So I don't know what his schedule is. Unfortunately, this is the busiest time of year for him, so he's trying to get a thumb down on a schedule.
Sure. I'm passionate about this issue
Yep.
because I spend a lot of time on it, and I want to make sure that it just doesn't fall by the wayside. So I'll do anything necessary to make sure that if I have to meet people,
Okay.
take them to the different spots. I've got the pictures on my iPad. I can send them to people, or
We obviously DS now has a record of this, so if we pursue us and can find some areas of a problem, they'll come back out.
okay.
So it's not it's not quite a dead issue yet. Unfortunately, it's gonna probably linger here a little bit until we can get someone out there to make a real assessment.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so moving to our first order of business, appointments. Dawn, as you all know, has been on the Horse Hill Committee here for a while. We did have, Newt sent, as an alternate, Newt did send us a quick little note the other day saying that, as a subcom, they support Dawn's appointment to as a full-time member. So we're going to make I would think, a quick vote, unless
Want a motion?
I do.
Yeah,
Trying to get Cindy to.
Okay, well, I didn't know you could say
Go ahead,
anything
go ahead.
else yet.
Why don't you make the
Don's
motion?
been a tremendous help, and he's done work with marking the boundaries and obviously everything with the whole skidder that he went out there and lot. So he's a very valuable member, and I am glad to make the motion to appoint him as a full-time member of the Horse Hill Nature Preserve Subcommittee with a 3-year term. A little more than a 3-year term, so it'll be ending July 31st, 2020.
Okay.
Second?
All right. Does anyone have any comments or questions?
Just quickly, thank you, Don. You've been a great asset to the property and to all that are involved. You do a lot around there, and I appreciate you stepping up and taking a full-time role.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Questions, comments? You good? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that was easy. Passes 6-0-0. Dawn, thank you very much for your help, and
Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
look forward to having you be a full-time member.
Yes, thank you. And you could stay for the whole meeting. You could stay for the whole meeting if you want.
That's
No.
all right.
Okay.
My work is done.
I know, right? Yeah.
I will be in touch.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks, Don.
All right, statutory business, formal wood products.
Yes.
If you could please introduce yourself, make sure you're signed in there,
Sure.
and
Yeah, my name is Brian Keene. I'm one of the owners of Forma. We manufacture replication wood products, replication steel products for veneering applications such as feature walls. We do a lot of restaurant work where they want specific looks, so we manufacture panels that will give them the look that they want. We're currently doing that in about 4,000 square feet over in Wilton. We're looking to expand, and we looked at a property on Star Drive that suits our needs. So they asked me to come here today to kind of explain what our business is, what we do, and answer any questions you may have. So I just have kind of a brochure I can hand out, just kind of shows you what products we make. I'll walk you through kind of the process. I just have 5 of these, so.
yeah, we can share.
Yeah.
We need. There we go. Chair, you want to keep one?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep
Put it-
one for
Yeah.
So what we do is specific looks, you know, anything from a wood look to a brick look to steel. And it's basically our stone. So everything you see there is not actual material. It's our product that is made to look like that. So, like I say, we currently manufacture, and our process is pretty straightforward. We take a raw material and we pour it into a mold. You know, we do a couple of things in between. We apply integral colors and different sealers and stuff to give different looks, but pretty much we just allow it to cure and take it out of the mold. We plane it down to the thickness that's needed, and package it and ship it out.
Is this a proprietary process? Your
It
own?
is, yeah.
This is actually quite impressive looking.
Yes, it's.
Are you in any local restaurants or something we may know, or someplace that we may?
We have one in Manchester, New Hampshire. We're doing a project there. The Backyard Brewery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they have all our paneling. Basically, we have fence paneling around the interior, and then we have some skip frame look around the bar area. So yeah, if you go there, you'll see actually the beam lights that are in there.
Yeah.
Putting 25-foot long beam lights in the 16 and 25-foot long beam lights, which will be installed I think next week. But it'll give you a good sense of what we do and what our product
It's
is.
interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty much it mills just like wood. We can cut it, we can plane it. Installs pretty easy, but you get multiple looks. Like that brick is not. That's our product. So steel, you name it.
What kind of materials and chemicals do you need to store?
Not much in the way of chemicals. This is some tech data. Again, we can pass it around. On the material, so it comes in a tote, heavy-duty tote, and it's what they call moisture cured. So once you pour it in the mold, the moisture in the air cures the product.
Is urethane like a polymer? Is it like a plastic?
It's like a plastic, yeah. Urethane is a type of plastic.
So this won't be like the PFOA stuff that we're.
Won't be which?
This won't be like the PFOA. Am I allowed to ask that?
Sure.
Okay. This won't be like the PFOA that got released in the air.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Just curious.
No, it's pretty. It's a pretty safe product. There's no, off-gassing, no waste. We have, everything cures to a hard product, so there's no, there's no liquid, there's no runoff, there's no waste per se, other than small pieces that are cut up. But there's not, it's all, everything is, environmentally friendly. There's nothing.
And did you say you heat cure it?
No, moisture cured.
Okay, moisture cure.
You can heat cure it if you wanted to cure quicker. You raise the temperature,
Mm.
but typically it's just moisture cured.
Okay.
For the speed that we need to cure that, we don't need to heat it up.
I just took a class on polymer clay, so
You
I'm
did?
looking at it, I'm going, I
Yep.
wonder how similar it is.
Yeah.
But you're mixing it with concrete, which would give it so much more strength, so. Very cool.
So the proposed building
Yep.
is really kind of there already, correct? There's some
The
sort of,
building is there, yep.
there's a roof structure there and all that too.
Everything
so-
is there, yep.
Is it enclosed and everything at
Yep.
this point?
Yeah, it's an existing building.
Okay, all right. So it's just a change of use for the building?
It's just a change of use, yeah.
Okay.
Are you taking over the entire building now that's down at the stonework isn't done in?
No, I believe the stone guy is still staying there.
Staying on the end,
Yep,
down
yep,
towards the end?
in his
Okay.
location, yeah.
Where are you operating out of now?
We're in Wilton.
When you say it has to cure, what roughly, I mean, so if there's a spill, what's the cure time of it? I mean, how long does it stay plastic and running?
It kicks off in about 5 to 10 minutes.
So it starts to congeal?
Yeah, yeah. And the viscosity of this is something like molasses or something. Probably even doesn't flow like water as well.
Okay.
It's pretty viscous.
So spills would be relatively easy to contain?
Yeah.
And it's just ambient moisture, ambient air moisture? You don't have to have any kind of special, at any level at all?
No.
Oh. Oh, it seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it does, because, I mean, if it's the existing building and we're not modifying the building had to have been permitted before, I suspect.
Yeah.
Because I don't see roof drains and the other things that we normally look for, is
Yeah.
how water's being handled. Are there roof drains in the building? Are you that?
Not familiar with whether there is or not.
I see, okay. And is that a gravel parking lot, or is that asphalt in any way?
No, the location we're in, I believe, is paved.
Paved, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't quite tell. I didn't get a chance to go take a direct look. I used Google Earth to take a look.
There's a lot of exposed earth around, but
That's what I thought.
that out right in front of the building is paved, and then and Star Drive obviously is paved down to the tracks.
So we're looking at plans from like 1982.
Yeah.
Is any of this new? Is the turnaround new or any of that?
This here?
Yeah.
I believe, yeah, we're not making any, I don't believe the owner's making any changes. We're not making any changes
Right.
to this, yeah.
Okay. So the drawings you didn't update any of these drawings?
Only upgraded them just for the parking.
For
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe they're planning meeting tomorrow on that.
Are you going in front of the planning board tomorrow?
Yeah.
So with your proposed parking plan, are you looking to get approvals for current hard pack or asphalt that's there? Or are you looking to add more asphalt or more park?
No, just what's current, yeah.
That's what's current,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Yeah, because there's no wetlands delineations or
No.
anything like that, but I didn't get a sense that there were any wetlands in
No,
the
I think
on
it's
the
just
parcel.
it's its proximity to the Merrimack River.
Correct, yeah, right, in the flood zone,
Yeah.
so. Are you planning any outside storage of material?
No.
Okay.
Is this close to where the Pennachuck came, that they're gonna put
No.
that little, no?
I don't think so, no. It's actually right behind the current buses, where the bus
Oh,
company
so it's
is.
further down,
Yeah,
okay,
You know where the new switch yard is?
no,
Behind Bud, that's the PSNH switch yard. It's going to be right
okay.
there.
That's the thing that you saw on the walk. at the end of the walk.
Oh, okay,
Remember?
yes, yes, I do remember that big,
This-
Yeah, so I
The new construction of that. Yes.
I thought this was pretty straightforward,
yeah.
considering there's really not.
Right. Assuming there's no change to the outside except for, dealing with parking, there's really nothing for us to
No,
look
because
at.
this plan to me was the addition of that building.
Yeah.
Was the time that this plan was generated, so it didn't really have a whole lot of impact.
No.
Does anyone have any questions? And you said you are going in front of the planning board tomorrow night, huh?
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Don't even have to mention 10-0-10.
Okay, does anyone else, Cindy, you have any questions? Anyone's got any good questions? No? All right. Well, Brian, thank you very much for
Okay.
coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll make a recommendation to the planning board for tomorrow.
All right, great, thanks.
Take care.
Would you like these for tomorrow night?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep one set.
Keep one set, yeah.
Yeah.
Neat looking product.
Yeah, it is, actually.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Just sort of needs more reason to go to the yard.
Are you keeping your son?
I'm gonna keep, I got one set here that I'm gonna keep. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have K&A and Associates, and Charles Hazen. How you doing?
Good. So my name is Brent Cole. I'm with the Keene Nordstrom Associates, tonight representing the Hazen family. And I need to preface the meeting by saying my wife is due in 3 days.
So you may be out of here pretty soon, huh?
I told her that she could only call me if it's an emergency, so if I get a phone call, I apologize for being rude, but I should probably answer
all right.
it. And I may have to scoot out of
Is
here.
it first, second, what?
First one.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
We're
congratulations.
excited. Yeah, we're very excited. But let's get right into it.
Just get you home, right?
Stop and get ice cream on your way home.
Good call. Good one. The Hazens have owned this land for a long time. They've subdivided it a few times. It once was a large 70-acre parcel, and through the years they've subdivided to create parcels for their family, and that's why we're here tonight. There's a subdivision of tax map 4B, lot 114, to create 3 additional lots for their children. The project before you is mainly twofold. The first component is to do a lot line adjustment between lot 114-2, which is up in the right-hand corner, with lot 114, and then subdivide the remainder into 4 total lots, 3 additional. Lot 114 is roughly 28 acres. It has frontage along Wilson Hill Road and Upham Road. And it has frontage along the Souhegan River. The property is within the residential.
I'm sorry, that's gonna be the one along in the bottom now?
So
the one you just-
114 is actually the parent parcel.
Okay,
That's
all right,
all of this area in through here.
all right.
That's the 28-acre parcel.
Oh, okay.
That's the parcel that will be subdividing into 3 lots.
Okay.
There'll be 2 lots that will remain with frontage along Souhegan.
Cindy,
This
can you
lot and
make
then
sure
the
that
existing
microphone's?
The property is within the residential zoning district, the wetland conservation district, the shoreland protection district, and the aquifer conservation district. Richard Hazen lives up on 114-2, which is up in the right-hand corner, and Charlie Hazen lives on the large parcel today. Both properties are served by private well and on-site septic systems, and it'll be the same for the additional lots that we create. We met with DPW and the fire department on site. We walked Upham Road. They requested 2 things from us. One was to create a proper turnaround at the end of Upham Road for fire trucks and for plows. There's already an existing easement there. It was already set up for it. Over time, it's just been grown in a little bit and kind of created a driveway. So we'll put some more gravel down, create a proper turnaround there. In order to do so, we need to get a shoreland permit because that area is within the shoreland protected of the Souhegan River. And then the second thing was to flatten the steep slopes near the culvert that goes underneath Upham Road, which is in through this area. On the west side of Upham Road, it's about a 1-to-1 slope, and there's remnants of an old rock wall. So I'm assuming there's probably a rock wall there that created the head wall for the culvert. Over time, that's sloughed off, and it's become a 1-to-1 slope, and they really want a proper 3-to-1 slope there. In order to do that, we need to create a culvert extension and that will create the wetland impact. And we'll need to get a minimum wetland impact permit from DES. So in our review with DES, we have to go to Fish and Game. They requested a vernal pool study, and I have handouts for you guys. We received the vernal pool study on Sunday. Our wetland scientist was working hard over the weekend. To get that to you guys. I understand it's a little late, so if you need time to digest the information. But come to find out, the wetland that we are impacting is a vernal pool. It has been created because of lack of maintenance on the culvert. So the culvert's completely sedimented or silted in, which created a 1 to 2 foot pond area in that wetland. And there were some egg masses for some turtles that were found there. So in this area, this is a sensitive area for the Blandings turtle, spotted turtle, and the wood turtle. And that's why Fish and Game got involved and asked for the vernal pool study. The wetland scientist in the report states that this is I believe he says it's a modest value vernal pool because it doesn't have any shade, it doesn't have any trees around it or anything. So really it's just the fact that it's got a 1 to 2 foot area where it's not being able to be relieved. And there are 2 more vernal pools down near the Souhegan River. They're down in through this area. Those are not being impacted. And Fish and Game, Kim Tuttle, has asked that a 35-foot no-cut buffer be added around those vernal pools. That one will be easy to do because it's within your 25-foot no-cut buffer anyways. So the other one will put a no-cut buffer, but it's in a field right now, and they'd like it to be signed so that trees can, over time, grow back up and create that cover over the vernal pool that lacks cover today. The overall wetland impact will be 517 square feet, and we have been, the DPW has taken a stab at our plans. They've reviewed them. They did request one thing, that we fully replace the existing culvert and not just extend it to 4 feet. So we will have to make that plan revision prior to submitting to DES. But from my understanding, we were here for 2 reasons tonight. Get a recommendation for the subdivision because we were in the aquifer district, and I need your signature on a wetland impact plan for DES, a minimum expedited wetland impact plan. Do you have that?
We don't have the plan.
We don't have the plan.
When did you bring it to town hall, to the town clerk?
We submitted everything at the same time. I can actually give you the cover letter.
Okay, so, but like I said, when did you do that?
A while ago.
Someone dropped the ball.
April 25th.
Yeah, we don't have a permit. We don't have a permit.
Yeah, so you can
Sign.
see here. Yeah,
Yeah.
just take a look.
Right.
Everything was submitted.
So that culvert is going to get
Roll.
replaced as the one that's clogged at the
What's-
first
what's
vernal
today?
pool's
Today's the-
behind.
Yes.
I mean, that vernal pool's probably
Yeah,
going to
we're
disappear.
out
Vernal
of date.
pool will about a foot of it will disappear.
The foot,
Well, it's the same.
It's about one, it's got about a 1, maybe even up to 3 feet in depth. So yeah, it'll lose the first top, the
Sorry.
first foot.
Would you like this, Mr. Chair?
Where does it drain?
It drains out to the Souhegan through a couple other parcels, but it goes through the east and then drains out to the Souhegan. Yep.
It's 14 days to comment. So the wetland permit application for an expedited permit, we don't have any of the originals.
I
We
completely
can't-
understand,
We
yep.
can't sign any of those at this
Right.
time, okay?
Okay.
We can theoretically authorize our chair to sign once we can locate the copies.
Mhm. I can submit copies tomorrow. It's a,
No, so did you bring some to the town clerk is the question?
we give them to the planner,
Yeah?
who, we gotta get your signature first, and then we take them to the town clerk with copies and they distribute.
Okay. All right.
And then we have to bring them up to, after we get the town clerk's signature,
Yeah.
we bring them up to DES.
Actually, the town clerk would do that.
Nope, they've changed
They
it.
changed the
Yep.
rule again?
So we take it from the town clerk and we distribute to the
Okay.
to the state.
They never got it, because no one knows where it's supposed to go right.
Yeah, because, yeah, right.
So it's probably here in the building.
Oh, yeah, they're probably downstairs.
I have a copy of it. If you want to take a look. But I completely understand. Do you guys meet every 2 weeks, right? So if I got you something, you could take a look at
First
it.
and fourth Mondays, this is the 1 month that there's 5 Mondays, so we're gonna be.
First and third.
First and third, I'm sorry. Yeah, so this is the 1 month that we have 5 Mondays. So our next meeting is, sorry, Chris. First and third, so June 5th is our next
Okay.
meeting.
So if we distributed copies, there's not much to it. I don't know if I need to present in front of you guys again, but it shouldn't delay anything on the planning board as long
When
as
do you
we,
go in front of the planning board?
tomorrow night.
Right.
But that we don't need them for wetland application.
No,
We
you
could
don't.
submit the wetland application without
Right.
your signature. We'd just be up against a 75-day time clock instead of a 30. But obviously at this point, I wish I had just done that because probably be the same time frame, but.
Well, yeah, if it had gone through the town clerk, it would have made it to us. There's been a change in personnel downstairs in the community development office, and they probably aren't aware of certain things, so
So we should have a copy of this.
we should. So, I mean, it's obviously up to the commission, but we could, if you want to review the details of the permit application, we could do that tonight.
Yeah, sure.
So that way you wouldn't have to come back.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And again, depending on the details, we could theoretically authorize you to sign. And it could be done this week.
Can I keep this copy? Do you need this back?
Absolutely. That was the copy that was submitted for planning board approval.
Okay.
So that has like site plan application and stuff. I actually have the full wetland application, which is probably more of what you'd be looking for.
No, that should be here.
You should
Yeah,
have a
can
copy.
you circulate it though?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm sorry, you were talking about the vernal pool. Can you just go back and rehash that for a second?
Yeah, I just,
Sorry.
I asked them if the block culvert's the one that's getting replaced, and
Yep.
it is, and that would drop the depth of the vernal pool by 1 foot.
It's a 15-inch culvert, so the water level is at the very top of the culvert now. So once we clear that out and maintain it, we'll drop the vernal pool by 15 inches.
15 inches, that sounds like much of a vernal pool. That's pretty deep.
Yeah, but I mean,
Cool, yeah.
that culvert.
Right, that's what I said, the cover's
wasn't blocked.
right, yeah, it's saying that's.
Yeah,
that's,
it needs to be. It should have been cleaned out. It needs to be cleaned out because
Yeah.
we run the risk of the road washing out if we don't.
and that's the one you found egg mass in,
Yes.
of course,
Yeah.
of course. When does that work? When do you feel that work's going? You know, obviously, if things went smoothly, when would that work happen?
Probably soon. I know. Would you think soon?
Well, I'd have to get a hold of Ken Rock and see what
Right.
his schedule is.
But their daughters are going to take over the 2 lots. I know they're itching to build, so they'd have to do the work within the road before they could get building permits on the parcels. So
You know, obviously, our concern, we'd like to have it be once whatever's in there is
absolutely.
done,
Yep.
using it.
Yeah.
For-
So usually the
Yeah, for the year at least.
right. Usually the hot spots for vernal pools are in the springtime or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we've
once
had
things start to dry up in the summer, I would assume
Yeah.
that it'd be around then.
well, it's the same. We've had, you know, and you're the unfortunate recipient of the weather we've been having. Is we've
Mhm.
got egg masses that normally are hatched and gone still in
Right.
mass state right now. So
Yeah.
it's an odd spring
Mm-hmm.
if it ever shows up. And of course, we're gonna have our AC on. We'll have our AC on by Friday.
Yeah.
So. All right. Did everyone have any chance to look at the plans? Any questions about the plans?
Yeah, you have some wetland challenges I see on the plans as to where you're going to locate homes and stuff like that. Can you review some of that from your diagram?
Yeah, no problem. So the parcel does have a lot of wetlands, has a stream that runs down this side, and then obviously the Sauhegan River And then the wetland that we're impacting is more of a drainage way. There's a high spot here, drains out through under Upham Road and then out to the Souhegan. There's an existing lot here. This is the lot that we're providing the lot line adjustment. There's plenty of buildable space for a building here. There's an existing barn, an existing home where Charlie lives today. That will remain. And then this area in through here would be a great area for someone that wants to look over the Souhegan River. They'll have a beautiful view. They aren't up against any wetland setbacks except through this area, but this is all bad soils. They wouldn't really want to build, so likely they'd be building right in through here. This lot presents probably the biggest challenge. There's about 50 feet between this wetland and this wetland to provide either a driveway or if someone wants to put a septic line out to a septic field out here. This is roughly, this line right here, this closed polygon is about 6,000 square feet. So if someone wants to put a house there, they obviously could. They need to put the leach field over in this area though.
So where's the contiguous upland area for that lot then?
Contiguous upland area is all through here. Because the only way for it not to be contiguous is if this wetland was actually connected.
I see.
There is a connection here. So this whole thing is actually contiguous upland.
Well, that's tight. Wow. Someone will have a challenge.
Yeah.
It's 50 feet. The slopes aren't that steep through there. Someone could get a 12-foot, 20-foot driveway in.
And that's encroaching on the wetland buffer though?
The wetland buffer, but I believe in your regulations that you're allowed to put a driveway within a wetland buffer. But any impact to the wetland or anything, they would obviously have to come back to get permits or anything like that.
Yeah, to the actual wetland, if they filled a wetland or whatever, they would have to.
Yep.
Yeah. But you mentioned the driveway wouldn't go through the wetland itself?
No, it wouldn't need to.
So
There'd be no need to do a wetland.
So there'd be no reason to come back,
Correct.
to at least to this board.
Correct.
Okay.
Even if it goes through the buffer?
Right, even if it goes through the buffer.
Is there, there's on this plan that we have, there looks like some kind of shed or barn?
Yep.
Is that still there?
That will be removed.
Okay.
The shed or barn that's down near Upham Road.
It's showing in the, no, it's showing, there's showing some,
Little
There
building.
is some sort of old foundation there.
was there just a cellar hole or something right there?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a cellar hole, old cellar hole,
Yeah.
like that, real old.
Yeah? You're saying the pipes, the RCP is you're gonna remove it and replace it, or is it?
We are gonna replace it.
Because this just says we're gonna extend it.
We received comment from DPW on Friday,
Okay.
so I submitted this before they actually made us fully replace it, but the full replacement won't create additional impacts or anything like that. It actually may be easier to just fully replace it rather than trying to
Yeah.
scab on 4 feet of pipe onto the end of it, so
And God knows how old that is.
you got it.
So the new stuff's not gonna fit on anyways. But that will essentially get rid of that vernal pool. That's gonna be just now a drainage culvert.
The study says it's roughly 2 to 3 feet or 1 to 2 feet, do you have I handed out all my reports, but there'll be some pool there, thank you. But yeah, so that shallow pool is up to 24 inches deep, so yeah, it'll drop it down to.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a deep.
Do you want to handle the application separate from the subdivision?
I think we kind of have to,
Yeah.
because we don't really have a whole lot of choice tonight, at least. So it's going to be two separate items to us. All right. We're going to start, I guess, with just a couple comments on the very last page of your plan set. You have a couple items in here that we catch on. The turf establishment schedule, you've got the call for fertilizer, which is obviously you're trying to plant. We ask people to, it might be a good chance to test your soil and see what you really need, because you may find that you're over fertilizing things, and it's
Okay.
a little, maybe save yourself some money by not having to buy the fertilizer. But certainly in the location where you're going to be seeding, you're calling for a 10-20-20 middle number of the phosphate. We in this area in particular, that would really be a perfect no phosphate, slowly release nitrogen fertilizer. Would be much better suited for that, any kind of runoff that's getting into the rivers and the wetlands.
So you'd like to see a no phosphate?
No phosphate and slow release nitrogen. No.
There's so much standing water and feeding of the river that you could wash phosphates into that, which create those nasty multicolored blooms that you see, and really bad things to grow in standing water as well as rivers.
Okay.
So
Slow release nitrate, you said?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen.
yeah, I'd have to think though that the soils around here would provide probably more than adequate nutrients
Okay.
to reseed anywhere that you disturb.
Yeah, that should be a pretty fertile area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Particularly preparation and execution, item 8. You make a call for hay,
Mm-hmm.
and again, in an area, particularly where you are, you don't want to put extra seeds in down there, so we'd prefer you have using straw.
You need to make sure on number 7, the wildflower variety has nothing that's invasive.
Yes. Yeah.
Non-invasive.
Forget-me-nots illegal up here or just in Massachusetts?
I don't know.
Forget-me-nots.
Forget-me-nots.
Yeah, they're illegal in Massachusetts.
I don't believe we've legalized them yet.
Oh, they're on the way.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of nurseries that won't sell them around here, so. So two of these lots are going to be built on promptly? Is that what seemingly what the plan is? Okay.
Whenever they're ready.
So I guess the only other comment I have is that 4B 114, the one to the left on our picture to the west, I have a hard time seeing where you're going to have enough room to have a septic, a well, and a home in the upland area. I think I'm just concerned that you can do that there's enough space to do that without an impact to the wetlands.
On 1114?
Yes, it's like at a 9D on here, the one to the west, the westmost one that goes from Wilson Hill all the way down to the river.
So you think there'll be a wetland impact associated here to get out to the south?
Yeah. I just think the planning board should take extra care to look at how you'd place a home on that lot. So, because I'm just thinking of the well. You have to have a keep-out zone for the well, plus you have to have it so far away from a septic system.
Right.
And there's no sewer in the road, so.
Right, but if there's many things they could do. They could just come in with a driveway, put a driveway through.
And come all the way through,
And
right.
then come all the way through and you'd have a beautiful view of the Sauhegan.
Right,
You'd
yeah.
have, there's a ton of great area in through here.
Exactly. I
If
get
they
that,
wanted
so.
to build the home here, they could have a well out back, a leach field, and then easily get lines through here without any wetland
Mhm.
impact associated, if they wanted the house up. But I'm assuming someone buying on the Sauhegan would probably want to be in the area
Yeah.
where they could see it.
My concern is up near the road, is to place a home up near the road and have it be viable. That's all. And again, it's the planning board that makes the decision. I just thinking when they approve the subdivision, they should just take a second look at how they feel it should work. They by far have a better experience with that sort of aspects. We're pretty much, plant life, wildlife, water, dealing with drainage and those kinds of things. Home placement is not our normal purview, you might say. So, but in this case, I would just say ask them to take a good look at that and propose an adequate place for a home, which could be right down by the river. I have no objections to that. So,
It'd be beautiful.
yeah, yep. I'd kind of be envious of it. So.
People have been fighting over which one gets the river.
That was predetermined.
That was smart.
Well, does anyone have any more questions about the plans? Okay, and you said you're going in front of them tomorrow night, huh? All right. So we can get with the community development, see if the wetlands plan is down there, the permit.
Yeah, well, it should be.
Should be.
So, I guess the question is do you want them to come back, or do we want to take it up at our next meeting, or do you folks want to resolve the wetlands permit at this time?
Resolve.
So when it comes to the permit, you're looking at 500 square feet?
517 to be exact.
All right, and that is mostly in the area of the culvert itself?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay, can you show that to us on the map?
And
Or on what-
there's a close-up, actually.
Yep.
On sheet 8, there's a wetland impact plan.
Yeah.
And you'll see it only runs probably 10 feet off the road along that whole wetland. It's just to provide a safer slope from Upham Road down to existing grade. Right now, it's a steep 1-to-1, and DPW felt with the 2 added lots that there'll be more traffic and more susceptible to someone falling down through that area.
So we're requiring you to make the wetland impact.
Correct.
So water on the road surface, is that going to wash beyond the wetland area? The way you're structuring the road surface?
The road surface we put back to where it is today.
Yeah.
It sheet flows this way,
Okay.
so away from the vernal pool onto this butter's property. It'll be constructed back to the same line and grade.
So the additional 4 feet is only going to the west side.
Correct.
There's nothing out to the other side.
The other side, we can make it work.
Okay. So if I went to sheet 9, is this where you're going to change the turnaround
Correct.
at the end of Upham Road?
Yep.
Can you just speak to that for a second so I
Yep.
make sure I'm looking at it correctly?
So, what you're looking at is you're looking at this easement right here. At the very end here,
Mm-hmm.
there's an easement, and there's a gravel driveway, and at the time you could see that it kind of shows, it looks like a Y, for someone, for a truck to pull into here, back up, and then turn around. They want this to be constructed proper to, up to their standards, so you square this off here. We'll need to shim some areas with gravel, compact it to the right density, so that a fire truck won't get stuck in that area, or the plow can actually go through it and provide a nice turn. We'll have roughly 2,820 square feet of disturbance within the shoreland. It's all within the 250 foot, so the area between the 150 and the 250, and it's at the very, very edge of it. You can see that the large portion of the turnaround is actually outside of it, and it's really disturbing land that's already been disturbed before. I mean, it's an existing driveway that's there. The permit that we need for this is actually a permit by notification. So we get the town signature because it's in their right of way, and then we just notify the Shoreline Protection Agency up at DES that we're doing this work, and they approve it as long as we meet all the minimum requirements.
So there's a note on here about you removing the impervious surface.
The existing gravel, yeah, we'll want to put down a good 6-inch base and make sure that what's there
Okay.
is adequate.
So is this second picture basically what it's going to look like when it's done?
Correct.
So the old gravel driveway will still remain to some
Yeah,
degree.
it'll cut. The old gravel driveway will extend
further
yeah,
where it
past-
is now.
past the easement, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly where it is now.
All right. Any questions?
No, I guess I will try to avoid unnecessary delay. I move that we authorize the chair to sign off on the wetlands permit with a comment to DES that says that we'd like work to hold off until the vernal pool has completed its early life cycle and the eggs have hatched and whatever's in there has moved on. So,
Do you have a specific time frame that you'd like to see?
well,
It'd be a lot easier to put on the plan specific dates.
It's so weather related.
it is. It's extremely weather related. So
July.
Okay.
you're looking at July.
Okay. Guys okay with that?
That's our recommendation. DES can, so just so
Yes,
you're aware, we
typically.
don't have any authority to say that's the way it is. All we can do is make a recommendation, and DES with their scientists can validate it, they could nix it, they could change it. So,
We respect your opinion,
Yeah.
though. We'd be willing to put that on the
Yeah.
plan.
so. Yeah, typically by July, most vernal pools have done their task. So, depending, of course, on some of the amphibians aren't out of the pond, out of the vernal pools by that point, but many are.
It's
Many-
a typical condition.
Right,
that we
many have
see.
probably have dried, yeah. So that's my motion.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? No comments? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Okay. So that will not be on the notice for tomorrow night, the wetlands permit, but we can certainly make comments to this.
Right.
So when you go in front of the planning board tomorrow.
The planning board wouldn't
Right.
require any comment from the wetland impact. So.
Okay. Great, thank you very much. Do you need this back? I can keep this one?
Do you want these back?
I don't. Those were for you. But yeah, you can keep that.
Because we should have this,
Should have it, yeah.
but I'm hesitant to say, okay, here,
I agree.
and then go downstairs and not
I'd
have it
rather
be
be
there.
safe than sorry.
Right.
So,
And if you could just let whoever, if you do find it, let them know to let me know that it's signed, so I can come pick it up and
yeah,
make the
and obviously if
requisite
you
copies.
need to get it back, we can get it back to you guys.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm sure
We've
you're
got plenty
gonna
of
see him
copies.
again.
Okay, good, yeah.
He's got bags under his eyes, but
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Sleep.
Yes, good luck.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Don't forget that ice cream.
Yeah.
Trust me, when she's in labor, you're gonna wanna say, but remember, I brought you ice cream.
Happy wife is a happy life.
Mama ain't happy, there's nobody happy there.
All right.
It takes people longer to figure that out.
Yeah.
Well, trust me, anything that she says when she's in labor, just let it in one ear and out the other.
Actually, this whole lasts past 9 months, whatever she says. Just
No, congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good luck.
Good luck.
All right, so, 17th Annual Seedling Giveaway was this past weekend. We had, again, it started off with something thought we were going to be very well attended. And we did get quite a few people. We got, 35, 40 people that came through, but then it really kind of petered off and we didn't get a whole lot more. So we do have a fair amount of seedlings left over. We have had a couple of requests from local folks to, they want especially the pines and the conifers, they want that. So I'm hesitant personally to, and again, this is just my opinion, so take it as you wish. I would much prefer to see these go out into our properties, through the subcoms, but they it does need to get done quickly. We are, the seedlings are in the courier's refrigerator, and at some point in time, we're going to wear out our welcome. So we need to get them out of there. We need to get them in the ground. So.
Any place specific you were thinking?
Well, there's in all the properties. I know people have some ideas of what they'd like done. We have a couple areas, certainly in Greater Woods, that could use some growth. We've got some interesting hardwoods and some sugar maples left over. I mean, if we had a space that we could start a grove type of thing. But again, it's not just put them in and fire and forget. We're going to have to. There's going to have to be some maintenance to them, because you're going to have to probably go up in the next couple of days. It's going to be hot and dry. We're going to, it's not just an easy place to get up there and get some water. So it does require some maintenance. So it's gonna be whether we have subcom members or ourselves who have the bandwidth over the next week, weekend, to do this kind of work. So it's something that we do have to make a little bit of a decision on, relatively quickly. Because as I said, we have folks that want some of them now, and which, that's no guarantee that they're going to live, but leaving on the fridge is a guarantee that they're gonna die, so.
If we plant them, and have to go back to water them, I don't know if the going back part's gonna happen.
Right, exactly. That's my point. And it depends on where they go and the proximity to the water. So, Greater Woods does leave you a little bit easier, potential to get the water. There's a lot more water up there. Getting, Horse Hill, you'd have to get down to the pond or something like that, but, or get in there with, a maintenance vehicle that's got some water tank to it. So.
Okay, well, I apologize because you had sent me an email and I didn't see that in time.
It's all
I
right.
didn't check my email for a couple of days. But,
It's all your fault.
Not your fault.
pardon me?
Not your fault.
Well, I wish I need to check more often. But I agree, I'd like to see them in our properties. How many are left?
I can't give you a figure.
Okay.
We have.
Is it all kinds, or is it just a few varieties?
We have a broad mix of items that were left. The stuff that we went through, like Wildflower last year, the songbird stuff. We went through some of it, not all of it, and it seems an odd. There's an eclectic mix this year. So we have, I think, close to 50 of the Douglas pines, or Scotch pines. Sorry, I'm trying to think of what we had this year. Douglas firs last year. And we have some white spruce left. So there's a variety of items left. And so.
I would plant them, but again, I gotta guarantee you they're gonna get watered
Yeah, I know, right?
after the first.
No,
They're probably not gonna get watered.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. They're probably not going to get watered. So it'll be what Mother Nature lets happen.
Right.
She'll decide who lives and who dies. So.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Well, if we plant them in a more shaded area, I think that would increase their,
You might increase the moisture of the soil, but it'll decrease their ability to grow.
Yeah.
So I think the more wetland type, the elderberries and stuff like that, we can plant and forget as long as
Yep.
we plant them in a wetter area.
Yep.
Okay. It's just the pines and the spruces and the maples.
And the sugar maples.
Yeah.
So
But yet sugar maples do thrive on their own. They do make
they
it.
do.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. So
They fall as a nut and seem to make it okay. So
that's right.
Yeah. We took, I guess Peter brought home a maple, and I haven't planted it yet, and it has this little tiny leaf coming up.
get in the ground.
Yeah.
Get in the ground.
Get in the ground.
It's
Come
been
on.
raining.
That's what I was doing yesterday. It's a perfect day for planting.
It was actually.
Yeah,
It is. It is. You don't even really have to water.
A couple of bushes I took, I just went out in the rain, planted them in the rain.
I did it one Saturday as soon as I got home, so before it started raining.
You and your mouse sat there and looked at it, didn't you?
Huh?
You and your mouse sat there and looked at it.
That's right.
So
So should we plan to go there on Saturday at a particular time and just take what's left? Or decide to give them to someone?
if we decide to give them to someone, I'm probably going to give those away before Saturday.
Yeah, okay.
Before the weekend. I'm sure I'll be in touch with him and we'll decide, but I would like to get that stuff out of there by the weekend, regardless of where it goes.
Mhm.
And if it means, this particularly the wetland, the stuff that can survive in the more wetland areas, we can find some edges to put those on. So that's really not a big deal, because it's pretty quick to plant them
Right.
if it's soggy soil. And I do believe looks like Saturday we're supposed to get some rain. It's supposed to be hotter than blazes the whole rest of the week, and then, of course, the weekend it's going to be.
I thought the weekend was 70s and nice.
Was it?
Yeah, I thought that Thursday night and Friday, well, I'm going by this morning's forecast, but the morning's forecast said Thursday night and Friday morning there'd be potential for rain, and the weekend was going to be gorgeous.
Okay.
Low 70s and partly sunny.
Well, we're in an all-weekend dance competition, which means that when we have to bring the big bag in, it will be pouring, and when we have to bring the big bag out, it will be pouring. The rest of the time, it will be beautiful.
It'll be fine.
Okay, so Saturday night after 8, partly cloudy with chance of rain, and Sunday, yeah.
They changed it?
Yeah, 67 and chance of precipitate, well, 20%.
Oh.
Sunday night it goes to 50, and Monday is 50.
Oh, yeah, the
Anything
forecast
over
changed.
20% here means rain.
Yeah, so I mean, if we could plant, if there's people available to plant on Saturday or Sunday, then the chances are they'll get some rain Sunday night and a Monday. So,
And I can bring some plants out to Wildcat Falls, either Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, and I could bring some out to Greater Woods.
okay, you want it into the weekend or prior?
Friday. Probably.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just,
Yeah.
I'm saying, I just want to make sure. I would like to minimize the amount of times we
Yeah.
go down and invade the courier's barn.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
Tied
being
up the next couple of
extremely,
days.
yeah, extremely, helpful to us, and I
Yeah.
just want to try to minimize our impact.
Right, that's why I kind of left 2 days, but
Yeah.
I can't do anything before that, so
Yeah, so,
whatever. What do you think works?
yeah, again, they're absolutely accommodating. So every time I've called and said, can we do this? Oh, sure, yeah, no problem. So I'm sure if we said, oh, yeah, we're going to send people in there every day, they'd probably, okay. But I just don't want to do that. So,
So either you give them away or would be.
well, that's the thing. So
we
if
could,
you're
split
looking
'em.
for, you want to stick with particularly the more shrubby underbrush type of stuff, and then the conifers we give away.
I think that's what that guy wanted anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's what most of the people, the two folks, that's what they were looking for.
Sounds like a good compromise.
Okay. Right, we can take care of that. That's easy.
How many of the bushes are there? Yeah, I mean, we could show up at the same time on
Yeah.
I was
Friday.
just going to say, what time do you want to show up and do this, or do you want to get back to us, which is fine.
Yeah, I might have to get back to, because
Yeah.
I think Friday is prom.
You have your chucks?
So this is the last time I ever have to put, well, with my own kids, I have to put up with it. So I shouldn't say it that way. It's the last time I have to be involved. So I would rather not do it.
Is it
Huh?
junior prom?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, she's a senior, but she was the queen, so she's got to go there
Oh,
and
okay.
give away the crown.
Oh, that's right. She was the queen. I was
Yeah.
going to say.
Yeah.
So
Did she make you
you
buy
guys,
her a new
you guys are,
dress?
you women are unbelievable.
Did she make you buy her a new dress?
I sit there like, I go outside and plant things in the rain. So Friday's going to be, that would be difficult.
Yeah.
And Saturday morning, we could do it early, but you've got the birding at Wildcat Falls.
Yes.
Is that going on?
I'm not going to attend that.
Okay.
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 And where I would plant will not be where they're going.
Okay.
Okay.
So, could we meet early on Saturday morning?
Sure.
Would that work for you?
Yep.
Okay. And I can talk with them, see if there's some time early this week and get the rest of that stuff out there too.
I was thinking that I could go around my neighborhood by Babuzik Lake and ask people if they would like a tree.
So what we're talking about is just little sticks with roots.
Yeah, because that's
Okay.
what I have.
All right,
Yes.
okay. All right, just so that people don't get oh wow, they're going to get this great tree and it's going to look wonderful. I'll put
So-
lights on it. And all
That's
that.
what
So-
we've done to our lot over the last 18 years, and some of them are very, very big from Arbor Day.
Yeah.
This-
So the pine, the tree, the ones that are left there's spruce, white spruce, Scotch pine and the sugar maples.
Mhm.
If you want to go and,
Mhm.
you know, give them away in your neighborhood, that's fine. I'm going to give you a bag of them,
Yes,
go
that
here.
would be, that would be fine.
and then, okay. So, and again, so that, again, would be on Saturday, or when would you like to do that?
Saturday.
Okay. Could you meet us at Courier Orchards?
What time?
Did we determine?
No, we didn't. We just said early, so that would be, what, 8:30,
You tell me.
9 o'clock? Which,
8:30?
which works, is that,
Anytime works for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be up Saturday morning. I got lots to do on Saturday, so.
9? Yeah.
that work for you?
Yeah.
So we shoot for, we'll be in and out of there by, we'll be in there at 9 and out by 9:15.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did hear back from somebody on the subcommittee that said he
Yes.
might have time Wednesday and Friday, but I can ask him if he has time Saturday.
And again, I can go get them
Mhm.
prior. Just after work is a little, I can do it Thursday evening too,
I can
if
check.
that works.
It's Tim Adams is the
Yes,
one.
I just saw his email.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know if he. Oh, yeah. He replied to everybody. Okay.
So,
Mhm. I mean, and I'm right there. If
Yep.
I can run over anytime.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
I
it's on my way home from work.
I mean, we've got enough extra
Yeah.
bags there. We can make a kind of a small selection of a couple
Mhm.
different things, and
Mhm.
if it's, if you can get an idea from him how,
It's time for yeah.
well, quantity,
Okay.
because that's a very different, that's a very,
Right.
I don't think planting 10 trees, no big deal, right? And that someone else may be, oh yeah, that'll take me an hour, I'll do 100.
Right.
So it's like, okay, we need to,
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I assume he's going during the day, so I couldn't go with him. I mean, if
Okay.
it's Saturday, I can, but I have to work those other days.
if you, obviously not specifics, but just some kind of general idea would be great.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Are you going to confirm this or just show up 9 o'clock?
I will confirm it and I'll be in touch,
Mhm.
so we can make sure, because obviously don't want to impact if they're doing something in the orchard too. Okay. Summit Trail, that was one of my notes, and Robert got it on there, so obviously we're going to be talking about that trail reroute. Has anyone had a chance to go walk it and feel comfortable of making a decision one way or the other?
This is the
Trail,
Wildcat Falls.
this is the Wildcat
I mean-
Falls Summit Trail reroute.
Horse Hill.
The
Horse Hill, sorry.
Yeah, my fault. I mean, I saw it in the winter, so I wasn't able to see the wet, but I could tell the reroute was going to be wetter.
You can look
So
at you can look at a topo map and see the
Yeah.
two locations, and I felt, we obviously walked it and have an opinion. So
I like
it is flagged. It should still, hopefully it's still flagged. So if people want a chance to go walk it and look at the two.
Yeah. I'll be ready to take a vote on the 5th.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'll commit to that. I have not walked it yet, but I will.
Because there is a small, it's not small. There's another issue that it brought to light which is not the decision we make is not going to change this, but the actual start of that trail is kind of a wet area, and it's seemingly seasonally wet. But we're brought up the discussion of maybe we need to have a bridge there or something, some culvert or something to span that wet area, because it's pretty wet and it goes all the way down the trail. So just so you know, when you get there, that's something that was just recognized.
So don't wear my new shoes when I go.
Well, they'll still be.
You weren't there that time. You don't get it.
They'll still be new. They'll just be dirty.
Yeah.
Don't
You don't want to
leave them
you don't want to
behind.
leave one behind?
I had to throw the other ones out. So
And I actually will not be here on June 5th. I didn't realize that before. So
Okay.
I mean, or do we want to move it to the 19th?
Not this week, but maybe next week if you wanted to walk out there. Not this week. Wants to do.
This week is
We can, I hate to keep pushing this back, because I just,
Mm-hmm.
personally, we've talked about this, and we've talked about this, and we've talked about this, so I'm about ready to
Mm-hmm.
be done talking about it, so. We,
Yeah,
Tim's-
I know.
Tim's on
Okay,
me.
so
I get it. I get it.
I know.
I know. You sometimes you just reach that point.
Yeah.
I know. And I apologize. When we set this up, I didn't realize, but I will not be able to attend that night.
Okay. We can, we can talk about that,
Okay.
we'll see.
Okay. I mean, I did go out and outside. I went on our walk, and it appears that the issues are the location of the heron nests, and the water, and then the size of the trail. I mean, I think there's three options. One trail, the other trail, or no trail, and we just close the whole trail. If I don't know. if
We had,
there's no
Jeff
easy-
had walked that for us, right?
Yes,
Yeah, and gave his recommendation.
yes.
Which is what route we want to take, I mean, for the most part.
I would let everyone decide how they want,
Yeah.
what they want to,
Yeah. He said that the proposed trail, I guess that goes to the right side of the existing trail, isn't any worse than the existing trail as far as its relation to the heron nest.
Yeah.
So,
And Deb gave us, as a member of Horse Hill, gave us a very good packet of information on herring nests from the
Yeah.
Vermont. I'm not sure exactly the title of the organization, but it's a Vermont,
yeah. Government
yeah,
or state
yeah,
agency or
state
something,
agency
I
that-
think, yeah.
and they talk specifically about herring nests and the proximity of human impact or human pressure on the nest, and their recommendation is, keep a, minimum of 300-foot buffer. And you can go look at that trail map, and we're 600 feet.
So does Matt have an opinion? I mean, he's not here yet,
Yes,
but.
he does.
Okay, so is his opinion the same as your opinion?
I think we're probably in the same boat, yes.
Okay, and is your opinion the same as their opinion?
I don't have an opinion.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard the different sides, but I haven't walked it.
And are your opinions the same as Jeff's opinion?
Yes.
So quite honestly, I can look at that trail and I have no idea what I'm looking at. And you'll know what you're looking at, but why can't we just make a decision on it tonight? In the interest of time.
Well, because we told the subcommittee that.
We did say we're going to do it on the 5th.
Yeah, that
So I don't want
we
to, I
might
don't want
have.
Okay.
Pull
I mean,
rug
do
out
you
from
want to
under.
weigh in now so that we can do it on the 5th, or
Mhm.
you want to be here when they have the meeting?
I mean, I'd like to be here, but.
All right, I'm just thinking in the interest of getting it done.
Right. No. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's going to have to be on the June 5th.
Okay.
Um,
Do you want to send a representative from the subcommittee in your place to discuss it, or?
I imagine there will probably be multiple people from the subcommittee here. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Are they all in agreement, disagreeing with where Jeff wants to put the trail?
Well, I think the problem is that not a lot of people were able to come on the walk with us. So I don't think they saw the issues with the other proposed trail that would go farther away from the heron's nest, which of course is always good. However, it was very wet when we walked it. It was very wet. I just don't know how you'd be able to get
From my memory,
trail in there.
even with snow cover,
Mm-hmm.
I could see that it would be a wet area.
It's downhill of the trail,
Yeah.
and it's downhill that entire ridge.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
wet.
So Jackie, for your benefit,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
one of our trails, the Horse Hill Summit
Sorry.
Trail, has had erosion problems and a number of other issues. So later last year, there was 2 proposed routes to reroute that section of trail. Both of them brought out issues for and against.
Yep.
And so we decided that this spring that we would make a decision as to what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And our options are to do nothing. That's always an option. The other option is just continue the trail altogether and let nature take its path, or to go for one of these trail options or compromise of that.
Yeah.
So what our intent is, and what we've announced, is that we're going to make a decision on the 5th.
Is it because of the heron nest?
But that's one of the objections, and I, Gage could probably forward you that email so you have it. So one of the optional routes that was proposed was to get a little bit closer to the heron rookery nests that are on Long Pond out there. With that, last fall we had our ecological scientist go out and take a look, and he rendered an opinion on that. So that's feedback on it. I think it's safe to say his feedback was that the impact that is currently being felt, if there is any, would be the same with this rerouted proposed route. It would be no worse. I believe it. Did I state that properly?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
So
It's a distance issue of 20 to 50 feet.
Yeah.
Closer.
Yeah.
And so it is closer, but it's closer by 20 to 50 feet, and it's still behind the ridge.
Yeah.
So it's,
and then the other route goes a different path to get to the two endpoints. So.
And there's no motorized during heron season. It's just snowmobile in the winter. Right, so there'll be no motorized.
well, there's no
motorized on
out there.
Horse Hill anyways,
No
except for
snowmobile?
snowmobile. Only
Right.
for snowmobile.
Only
Right.
snowmobile.
And the herons wouldn't be
Right.
nesting or anything.
So,
Yeah.
so, and there's other history which you'll see on the 5th. But if you want some of that background, I'm sure we can forward.
We
it.
could, I can gather that up and get.
Because I have taken that trail more than once, but not for a
Well,
while.
the original trail, what is now the Summit Trail, is a logging road, and it's straight up the hill, and that's the reason it's become such an awful trail now, is because now every time it rains, and that's a very, very steep slope over there, it just washes right down and washes all the dirt and everything. That's why there's so much rock exposed now, and the trails that the bypass trails are going to wind their way up the hill to compensate for just so that doesn't happen again. So I mean, that was a trail that was existing. No one made that trail. That was just
Yeah, it was Skidder Trail or Logging Road Trail. Yeah, it's so.
And they currently close the trail now, I'm not sure how many months or they attempt to close the trail, I should say, during nesting season.
Yes.
So that's another.
Well, I myself would trust your opinion.
I will get that. I will get a packet of information, more than you wanted to know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
So, are the Horse Hill subcommittee, are they gonna do another walk, or so that they can all see it?
I don't believe so. I mean, I had let everybody know when it was flagged, so if they couldn't come with us on that day to go out. And we did have, what you'll see the emails, we had 2 people from the subcommittee send emails to everybody with information, which was one of the items that Gage had mentioned. So I was going to let...
They sent it as their personal opinions, not as the representative of the subcommittee.
Right. Yeah.
That's important. I mean, I want, if we're going to get a
Right.
recommendation from the subcommittee, that would be
Yes.
great.
Mhm.
But if we're going to get individual comments, it's just going to be opinions.
So we did get a recommendation from the subcommittee. They recommended their alternative route. That vote was taken late last fall. I don't think that's changed. They haven't voted on it since.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't.
So now what you'll
Brenda-
get is individuals' opinions. But as a subcommittee, they recommended that alternate route, which is south of the ridge. Not south, sorry. It is lower than the current ridge line.
In disagreement with,
With Jeff?
With what Matt had proposed.
Is it in disagreement with what Jeff is
Yes.
proposing?
Well,
Okay.
it's an alternative. Jeff
Yeah.
never looked at their proposed route, never made an opinion on that one. He wasn't asked to do that, and we didn't pay him to do that.
Okay.
So there's nothing to say that Jeff wouldn't have a favorable or disfavorable opinion of that other route, okay? All Jeff did was take a look at the route near the rookery. That's all he looked at.
All right, well, if I go up the 2 things, I'm gonna take the easier one. That's what I'm gonna pick.
Oh,
So,
Just to warn you.
okay. So we do have the
Okay.
subcommittee's opinion.
Well, yes.
So we need something that's gonna be good for bikes, like mountain bikes,
Oh.
and walking.
That is actually up for debate.
Okay,
The current trail allows many different uses,
okay.
okay? With a proposed reroute, we could theoretically change the allowed uses.
Okay,
And we would have to, that could be discussed.
okay,
I'll wait till the 5th to give you my opinion on that,
okay.
okay?
But either one of these reroutes will be too narrow and too switchbacky for snowmobiles, right?
Yes,
Okay,
As proposed, yes.
as proposed, yes.
okay.
It doesn't mean that's, I mean, we could come up with a third alternative, and that's what we approve.
Mhm.
It's always possible.
Okay.
But the issue, and that we discussed last, I guess that was last meeting, was that obviously we're dealing with a pretty steep slope.
Right.
So you're gonna, at some point in time, going straight up a steep slope is gonna cause erosion, which is exactly what's happened. So that played into, well, maybe we need to do something about the trail usage, because that's, to make it wide enough to go up a steep hill, your turns are very big.
Right.
So we end up having some other forces making, on the decision.
Okay. Okay. Then we'll discuss it on the 5th.
Okay. I probably have to have no other items on the 5th.
It's gonna be a long meeting. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
There's going to be another item on the 5th.
So,
If things come up for planning board and they can wait, you might wanna push them out.
yeah. All right. New business. The Eversource. Oh, damn! I left that at home. So I'm gonna have to get that and bring it in. I sent out a brief email from Eversource. You all should have received it. And it's basically just the summarization of what they spoke about at the meeting. There was not anything unusual, nothing we would have found unusual. It's going to be all mechanical trimming, no chemicals, no herbicides. They are going to be going through the two power lines that they're going to be trimming. One goes through Horse Hill, one goes through Greater Woods. So they did send out a list of the properties.
One
and
goes through Wildcat Falls, too.
One goes along Wildcat Falls, yes. So they sent out a list of the properties, the contacts, and they're starting soon. And I believe they already have started, and some of the some of the private properties. So it's not. All they're doing is for reliability. Is they're going out to the full right of way, and they're looking for anything that can fall from the outskirts of the right of way into the power line area.
This is what they've been doing, though, isn't it? They've been doing it all through Merrimack.
Yes, yeah. This changed a little bit where they are now being told from reliability's point of view that they should be going out to the full width of the right of way. So before they were just they were letting it encroach a little bit and not going out to the full width. So this has actually now brought into the point that they're going to be looking into people's backyard, so to speak, and saying, okay, that huge tree you got right there could reach.
Mm.
So, would you let us trim it for you? Would you, can we take it down and replace it with something else? So they're seemingly being very proactive about it, and working, seem to be trying to make sure they're having a good outreach program. So we can expect to see in those properties some mechanical equipment on the right of ways and trimming.
So they'll be liable if they do any damage like the skidder did then? Like, because I noticed when they were doing Camp Sargent Road, they used, I think they were bucket trucks that they were
They're-
using.
That's not Eversource.
Yeah.
That wasn't,
Well, those are Eversource lines, but that's done by a private contractor.
okay, so now Eversource will come out instead?
No, Eversource will be using a private contractor.
But it's a different,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Private
different
con-
group, yeah.
Yeah. So they're trying not to go. They're trying very hard, and they've been successful so far. Not using the large equipment. They're trying to get in there with pickup trucks and chainsaws and felling equipment correctly. They're trying to leave mass on the ground when they can, unless it's going to be impactful or unsightly, and then they're going to try to remove it. But obviously, they don't want to remove it if it's going to to drag a log out, causes a lot of environmental damage. So sometimes it's going to be more damage to take it out than to leave it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they've left all the stumps and everything where they've been working, so it's not like they're taking stumps down and stuff.
No.
They're just cutting, and then I did read somewhere that if it's a homeowner, they offer them the wood. So I don't know what they do with the wood otherwise.
Yes, they do. If they're taking wood down on your property, they'll leave it the wood. But often they leave it on the side. Even the DPW does that when we trim trees back in town. They leave it on the side. It's available to whoever wants it.
Yeah.
So that's not unusual. That's not a new item.
I think there's just one area in Horse Hill where there's a turtle sensitive area
Yes.
that this might impact.
So and so they have. I'm the point of contact for any of the properties. So if someone wants to, if we want to divide that up, or just give, when we get the paths they're going to take.
Oh, okay, yeah, so that's the next step, is they'll
Yep.
give you more information and then we can say, well,
Yep.
okay,
Yeah. So if we have areas that we know of that are sensitive, then we can get out in front and say that these are contact areas that are important to us that we need to be critical, of.
So we have those areas mapped for Horse Hill.
Yep.
So, and we have them mapped around Gilmore Hill. So, if you'd like, I can take an action to send you where those are, or
Yeah,
or
that's
you
fine.
can give me the
'Cause
right
if
contact, and I can let them know. But you let me know.
Yeah.
So
Either way is fine with me. I have all I have is the contact for the forester who's in charge of the project.
Yeah.
So, but we do
Yeah.
have emails for
yes.
everyone else. So
So we have a zone on the map, and if you can let them know that we found, particular endangered species, New Hampshire rare and endangered species,
in that area.
that they need to be extra careful when they're in that area, because right now they're nesting, or they've laid their eggs,
Mm-hmm.
and they're hoping that they'll bake in the sun, and which is in their right of way.
Right.
So
Okay. Yeah. If you can get that information to me, I'll get it to the
Yep.
foresters.
Yep.
Quickly.
yes, I will do that.
Oh, we don't have to stand in front of the,
I'll stand with you.
Well,
And the mouse.
in my mouth, yes. I'll tell you guys about that after. I was gonna say after class.
and
after
she
the
will
meeting.
too. Yeah, I did get I spoke to them, I got a chance to speak to them outside of the meeting, and they're seemingly very much in tune with what we're trying to do.
Okay.
And they again offer their services. Look, if there's, while we're in there, if there's things that you guys are having an issue with, let us know. If we have equipment in there, we can help, attack some of these things. So they're seemingly very very willing to work with us. So it's good. I don't know, does anyone have any more questions about that? No? Good. All right. LSIP monitoring. Do you want to?
Sure.
You can talk about this real quick if you want.
So every year, the town is required to monitor the Wasserman Conservation property and provide a report to the state, Steve Walker, as to the condition of the property. There's specific rules when we accepted the LSIP funds back in 1990 when we bought Wasserman Park, and that goes in perpetuity. So we've, over the last few years, except for last year, we've been doing the monitoring in early May and sending in the report over the summer time frame. Last year we did it much later. Actually in the fall we did it. So this year, again, we need to do that and provide the report. There's a form we fill out. I would prefer to do it in the fall this year because I don't want to do it in the summer. It's just very hot. I would rather do it closer to when the leaves are coming off the trees because that gives you better visibility as to what's going on. We just have to have it done by December 31st to meet the town's requirement for the LSIP funds that we received. So I got a reminder that we need to be doing it. Steve is very prompt. He reminds us. He reminds us on January the 2nd or 3rd, his first Monday in the office, and then periodically throughout the year. So, and it's actually good to get out. I think you've joined us and others, so it's good to get out on that property at least once a year anyway. So again, I think we need to do it again. If someone else wanted to carry the torch and get it done over the summer time frame, there's only a few rules or thoughts with it, but I know my schedule until middle of September is just so jam-packed with stuff going on right now. So
When you do it, I would go with you and see how it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
we'll
maybe I
know.
can do
It might be
next year.
worthwhile to try to coordinate that with a walk on the extension property too.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, just so people get familiar with
Mhm.
that whole parcel now.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna try to treat as one.
So can I suggest then we put this back on the agenda for the first meeting in September?
Sure.
And then we can pick a day, sometime
Sounds
late September, early October, to get it done. The weather will be a little nicer. Maybe the bugs will be gone by then too.
Yeah, nice.
So you can get some nice pictures of the fall leaves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Sounds great.
First meeting in September, you said?
yeah, which I think we only have one meeting in September anyways, because the first Monday is typically Labor Day, and we're not meeting on Labor Day.
Mm.
So
Okay. All right. Any further comments or questions about that?
Meet September 11th.
All right. So, any other business? Anyone have anything to bring up?
yeah, the well cover.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So I think you're all aware that we had a small dug well on the quarry trail that leads from Natticook Road into Horse Hill Nature Preserve. That's in an easement area. The town doesn't own the land, but we have a walking trail easement through there. The well had been compromised. The grate that was in it had either fallen down through or been removed. I'm not quite sure. And rocks had been disturbed, and it became a hazard. So as of Saturday, the well is covered with a tarp and some plywood and some rocks. I don't think the well has any historical value. It's not. I've looked at plot plans and don't recall anything when Horse Hill was put together. It was just noticed, and therefore it was kind of adorned with rocks to show that it was a well. But I think it needs to be closed. I suggested to Kyle, I sent an email off to Kyle just because this came up through the town manager and others to see the police took a report in case it was vandalized. We have a report for it. But where it's part of the town's easement and where we don't own Horse Hill Nature Preserve as the commission and we don't own the easement, I really feel that it's a town activity to make the well safe. So that's what I expressed to Kyle and to Eileen and Tim Thompson, that I believe it's a town activity. Gage supplied some information on how to properly close off a well. And I am waiting to hear from Kyle or someone from the town. If not, on Friday morning I have a meeting with Eileen and Tim Thompson, Kyle Fox, Chief Doyle, and or their representatives to talk about how we're going to manage situations like this. Because we as volunteers are not can't be responsible for things that are liability issues to the town, that the town itself needs to take care of that. The trouble we have is that, say something happens at Wasserman Park or Watson Park or other parks, there's a Parks and Rec director who jumps right on it and carries it all the way through and takes it to completion. Something happens on a conservation property, a conservation easement area, there's no town staff person who I believe at this point believes their responsibility is to take the issue and complete it from start to finish. Do whatever it takes, whether that's talking to DES, talking to the police, talking to Public Works, or just going out there with a shovel and doing what has to be done. I don't think anyone feels it's their responsibility to do that. I think if they thought it was their responsibility, like any good employee, they would take care of it. So the point of the meeting on Friday is to say, who's the belly button for conservation properties? Because it can't be us. Most of us work a full-time job. We're just volunteers. We have no regulatory authority. We have no authority to ask for a truck or a backhoe or anything. So and by charter, the town manager is responsible for all real property of the town. Therefore, I believe it falls to the town manager and or her designee. So my intent on Friday is to reiterate what I think we all know, but then have the town manager either say, I'm the belly button, or Paul McCally's the belly button, or Kyle Fox is, and then we know that when a problem happens, it'll get taken care of from start to finish. This problem the skidder trail problem, the disruption to Greater Road problem, all in the last few months. No one thinks it's their job to remedy it. And I hate being the squeaky wheel. I hate for Gage to have to be the squeaky wheel, and that's right now what we're doing. We're playing squeaky wheel. So sorry, it goes a little bit further. And in these previous meetings, I've complained that we don't have a belly button. It's come up in the past before, and I think it's now time we just have to set the protocol. What's the protocol? And again, I think we all have good town employees. If they felt it was their job, I believe they would salute and take care of it, like they do everything else. But there's no one to salute right now. So that comes up Friday morning, by the way, in case you're interested.
Yeah, I'm very interested, yes.
So I can forward you our meeting notice if you want to be there, but we hadn't included the town council at this point because I figured the town manager could manage this.
Yeah, she's off all week, so it might be.
Yeah, she had mentioned that she was having some things and that Paul was substituting for
Yes.
her. So maybe she's designated Paul to run the meeting. But so.
Okay.
So that's a little bit beyond that. So when it comes to the well, right now, I've asked Kyle to take care of it, but if nothing happens before Friday, I think on Friday we're going to resolve that. In the meantime, the homeowner, because it's technically the homeowner's property, is concerned of the liabilities as well as the safety issues that evolve around this. So I think rightfully so, the homeowners are concerned, and I'd like to get their concerns alleviated. So.
Tim,
Yeah.
is this on private property, did you say?
It's on private property. The town has a walking trail easement over that portion of the property.
Over that portion of the property, yeah. But the underlying land is still owned by private people,
Correct.
yeah. But you feel that it's the town's responsibility to take care of it?
Well, yeah, because it was the town that adorned the well instead of taking care of it right from the beginning. So we're the ones who, we as the town, I'm going to say really the people who did it were the members of the Horse Hill Nature Preserve Master Plan Committee way back when, back in the early 2000s. Saw that there was a dug well there, adorned it with rocks and stones and put a grate over it so you couldn't fall in, and kind of made it look like a well, like you'd expect to see in someone's front yard or rear yard or whatever. Well, now here we are 15 years later, things have fallen in or things were vandalized. We don't know for sure the situation, but it's a safety hazard right now.
Yeah.
Well, not technically it's not, because it's been covered and it's been well marked, but it really does need to be resolved.
Oh, it absolutely should be done like tomorrow.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be a week ago.
Right.
Again, and whereas it doesn't really seem to hold any real historical significance, we can probably just decommission it.
Well, I wouldn't even care if it did. It's a
So for
hazard.
real wells, DES has rules on how you should do that, or best management practices.
Yeah, I'm sure
So.
they do. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I guess I still have an issue that I don't think this is the place to voice it, but whether it's the homeowner's responsibility.
Well, I think because we have an easement and we have people walking through, that it's our responsibility that those people are safe. So that's why we need to take care of it. That's what I would think. I mean, the homeowners are good enough to let us have that easement, so.
Well, yeah, so the original homeowners have moved on. This is even another homeowner since the easement was taken out. They
Yeah.
bought it with the easement in place and all the adornments and improvements that go with it, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't-
Oh, okay.
So they couldn't really put up a sign that says no trespassing,
No, they
Right.
can't.
so they couldn't.
No, they can't, not with
Because
an
the
easement,
easement, yeah.
but they do still own the underlying
Right.
the land.
property.
So, yes, and you're right, there is other issues that go with an easement, and probably not the right place to talk about them.
Yeah.
I think it would be kind of akin that if I lent you my prom dress and you returned it to me without dry cleaning it, then it would be your responsibility to
Enough
take care of
prom.
the dress to
Enough.
return it to me.
In case you
Hi,
forgot.
sorry. But they're kind enough to let us use their land, so.
Just remember, the law is not always logical, or doesn't always
Oh,
follow
that's
common sense, okay?
Right.
Right,
That's so true.
that's right.
Sorry,
point.
Gage.
That's all right. So, is there any more comments about the well? Okay, so one other thing that we've asked the town to look into, we spoke about briefly a couple weeks ago, was the water level down Madison, from down Powell Brook and into Mitchell Woods. I know they were back there the other day. I got a call from DPW, and they went back to look at stuff. And when I got home, it had dropped an inch or so, but we're up over a foot now of water back there, and there's. I've lived there 20 plus years, and I've been back there when it's dry, and there's things now that are wet that have never been. So we have a very active colony again in Mitchell, and it's well into the swamp. And we have spoken to a couple professionals about this, and they're like, this really, when you're in that area where the water's just a flat level area, he said you need deep water to put those leveling devices in. So he said there's really, other than regular maintenance to keep the dams down and potential trapping, he said there's really nothing you can do. So that's kind of where we stand now. So I've not heard back from DPW as far as what were they able to do, because whatever it was, it lasted a day, and now we're right back to the same level. So I got to follow up and find out what was happening. But
If you trap them, where do you bring them?
You don't.
you don't.
Oh.
The trappers get to keep the pelts.
Oh,
can't-
don't tell Cindy.
You can't relocate
Oh, I know,
beaver.
they would kill them, yeah.
You can't relocate beaver.
Well, I was going to say,
The-
you couldn't
the-
relocate them because now you're bringing your problem somewhere else.
Well, that, yes, and the other beavers that are there would fight with them.
Oh.
I mean, they've done that in other states where there aren't any beaver in as particular, like Montana or something,
Who do you know?
But
because
the-
they're trying to
the-
reestablish.
Yeah.
I called once years ago, and I was told, up to Congress, I was told that New Hampshire is 100% populated.
Oh, for beavers?
Yes.
I believe
There
it.
isn't any place to put them.
And we have a waiting list.
Yeah, right.
The life expectancy of a transplanted beaver is very, very low.
Very what?
Very low.
Yeah.
Extremely low.
How long do beavers live normally? Like,
Well, they can get to be pretty old. I mean, we have trapped here in town before, and I mean, they estimated one of them was close to 15 years old, 20 years old,
Jeez.
and she was big. I mean, she was 65 pounds. Yeah.
And they
So
killed her. Right.
65
She made it to 15
pounds.
years
They're
just
big.
to end up
Yeah.
Can be.
in a trapper's trap, and
Then the one I saw on 101A that had got hit must have been a juvenile.
Just the baby, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing it was enormous.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because my sister-in-law's dogs are Samoyeds, and they're about 65 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Oh, that is,
yeah,
that
I've
is
seen a huge
65.
one.
Yeah, she had a tail the size of a paddle.
And she saw you coming, and she started.
No,
going,
she did not. I was not.
no, they killed her. They trapped her and killed her in probably a body gripping trap that hopefully was quick. We will never know. But the problem is this area is very desirable for beavers.
It's the perfect
and
location.
you kill them, and they're just going to come back.
Yeah,
it could be 3 years. It could be 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be
Yeah,
immediate.
Yeah, we
There's got to be a
we went
permanent solution
3
years.
3 years.
3 years.
this time. But
Yep.
there's no guarantee that it's even going to be the 3 years. Unless you take down all the wood, all the trees that they're going to eat, and make
Yeah.
sure it doesn't come back,
Yep.
or
But-
drain it, fill it in.
You realize the trees are not their number one food source. They like all the green stuff that's starting to grow right now inside. They like the leafy vegetable stuff
Yeah.
that's growing in the water. That's their preferred food.
Yeah.
How do we keep in Greens Pond? Is it Greens Pond? It's the Natticook. I've seen them come and clear out the beaver nest, but there's a drain or something there,
That's
Yeah,
one of our
that's the
that's
wa-
our
that's the water
deceiver.
leveler.
That's the deceiver we put in.
and we can't do that with you.
Not
It's
there. The
too
water's not deep
dry.
enough.
It's not deep enough. It's
very
the
shallow.
The stream comes in and just goes out into very flat land. So the dam is holding back a foot of water, but it's 75 feet long.
Oh.
So there's no channel. The water's just
And there's no way
everywhere.
to put in.
and there's no we'd have to get machinery in the wetlands, which would be a huge
Yeah.
permitting issue, to entrench a channel.
Well, I was
But
going
and
to
even
say,
then it's not, and then you'd have to start filling in the sides to make it a stream, and it's a swamp.
and you don't have town water or sewer there, I don't imagine.
It's
Oh,
town water.
Town water, but you don't have
Well,
town
the
sewers.
trouble is the water is creeping up into people's backyards, and it's going to make their septic systems fail.
Yeah, the only thing I was thinking is, I mean, like drains that you have on cities, the town
Right,
streets, you
yeah.
can't do something like that.
No, this is, no, you can't.
Because that's all gravity fed.
Okay.
Right now,
This
gravity
is
is just
behind
spreading
your
it
house,
everywhere.
pretty much, right?
Behind Madison behind Madison Drive and that whole area. Yeah, Mitchell Woods, Watkins Forest, that's the swamp that's out there in Mitchell Woods and Watkins Forest.
So whoever sat on this panel years ago when that neighborhood was developed didn't do what they were supposed to do, did they?
No,
Well,
Tim is not saying anything about
the,
that.
that goes way back. It goes back to the 70s.
goes back into the
We
70s.
have reports of the 70s of them doing beaver activity out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
that whole area was supposed to be filled, and it was gonna be called Shawn Acres.
okay.
And they, for whatever reason, stopped them from filling all the way through that section. So it's an old issue.
Yeah.
And again, we have notes going back, when they were allowed to drive backhoes into the swamp and take care of the dams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better take their shotguns out and take care of it that way.
Yeah.
That's what town employees used to do.
This is not a new issue,
No.
not by any means. So, just so you know. All right. Minutes.
Can I bring one thing up under other business?
Sure.
Or do you want me to wait for
Nope.
commissioner comments? I did meet with Paul McCallie. I thought I had asked to be put on the agenda for today, but it's not in the notes, so I must have forgot. Can you put me on the agenda for, I don't know if you want to do it, I know the next meeting is really busy. Do you want to do it for a later meeting?
For what?
This is for the Friends of the Merrimack Commission, Friends of the Merrimack Conservation.
Oh.
There's a lot. There is a lot, and there's going to need to be money put out to get us set up as a nonprofit. There's going to be lawyers, there's going to be an accountant, there's a lot. So I will have everything written up when I'm an agendaed person, item, and then we can discuss it at length then, so everybody's pretty much on the same page. But it's going to boil down to, we'll need to bring in at least $3,000 the first year just to cover expenses for the setup. We'll also I'll need to set up, we'll need a president, we'll need a treasurer.
You need a whole board of directors.
We'll need a board of
You need
directors.
a,
So this is not just,
no, you're setting up a corporation.
right, this is not just me standing on, the interim on Continental waving a boot, so.
No. I suppose we need to,
So this needs to be an agenda item.
okay.
So it doesn't, let me know if it gets too heavy for the June 5th, because we can push it off to the next one.
We have,
June 5th, and the next one's the 19th.
Okay. If you want to do the 19th, that's fine too.
we having a public on the 5th?
We have a non-public on the
Not a public.
Public hearing on the 5th, right? Did that get posted, or is it going to be posted?
Supposed to be posted, yeah. We
Oh,
got,
there's a non-public on the
Yeah.
5th?
no,
Public.
public hearing.
A public, okay.
That's more than it's 2 weeks
On
away.
the-
so
Yeah.
Same topic as the non-public, so.
Oh, okay.
all right.
Been,
And we're also on, supposedly on the agenda for that Thursday's town council meetings, right? Thursdays are the town council meetings?
Yes,
Yeah, so that 8th.
second and fourth
we'll have a
usually,
Right.
public on the 8th
except
at the town council.
Thanksgiving and Christmas.
All right, so this is, Gina, we're going to tentatively put this for the 19th
That sounds good.
of June. Okay, if you've got a write-up on what you're expecting this to be prior to that, would probably be helpful to get that out to everyone before the meeting.
Okay, I'll send that to you. I'll write it up.
All right.
I can, for the two meetings, the 5th and the 8th, I have previous backup if you want to plagiarize and reuse those presentations.
Absolutely.
Right.
I don't do that computer overhead stuff.
Don't do that keyboard stuff. Yeah, please, if you could, that would be very, very helpful.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Just something else under other?
Yep.
So, I mean, I can do this at commissioner comments, but so this Saturday, on May 20th at the Wildcat Falls, we're going to do a bird walk. Not a professional birder, but someone who knows their stuff very well and looking for birds of opportunities. Details are on our website, merrimacoutdoors.org. That and this weekend, a member of the Wildcat Falls Subcommittee and her husband went out and took care of some, 4 or 5 trees that had fallen down across the trail and cleared them so people could stay on the trail and not have to deviate. So I'd like to thank Rebecca and her husband Chris for going out and taking care of that. So
Thank you.
yeah.
I hadn't been out there for like a year, and I could see the difference.
Yeah.
Things are happening.
Yeah, it's that property is even more used now that we've got markers up and more established trails and trail maps. So, and that's one of our oldest conservation properties. So, yeah,
Well, I think especially in the spring, people love to see because the
Yeah.
falls are so wild.
they are. The falls are great right now.
Yeah.
I went this past week.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Is that all other business? Other new business, whatever? New business, other business? All right. Has anyone had a chance to review the minutes? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to accept the Merrimack Conservation Commission minutes dated May 1st, 2017, with changes as noted.
Okay. Second. There you go, Cindy. Motion by Gina and second by Cindy. One of you ladies like to start?
Okay, so, not a lot on this one. Excuse me. I have on page 5, line 13, the subcommittee has suggested, I think it's supposed to say use of
Use,
another
yep.
photo, not us of another photo. On page 6, line 54, Commissioner Glenn questioned if, right now it said if an update regarding discussed. I was gonna suggest we put in if, add the words there was an update regarding the skidder damage discussed. Does that make sense? Yep. Okay. Okay. And let's see. I believe that's it. That's all I have.
Cindy?
I'm good.
Because that was the only one I had was that last one, so. Anyone else have any?
Now, I just have a comment for Jackie. Jackie, on the first page, line 10 through 17 talks about the members of the commission.
Yes.
You'll note that we have 2 full-time positions open. So, if you get the opportunity as a town councilor and you hear of people who might be conservation-minded, please let them know.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Every now and then we announce it because we get down 1 or 2 members for some important committees like this.
Yeah, we're down 2 full-time members right now.
Yeah,
so.
that's a lot.
Okay. So, those are the only comments of the minutes. All those who approve the minutes as amended? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Passes 5-0-0 with Jackie abstaining.
501 then?
5-0-1, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Normally, we also have a little subsection here for subcommittee updates, but I don't really think we have any because you've already talked about them, and Tim, you already kind of spoke about it. So, the Greater Woods subcommittee meeting is tomorrow night downstairs at 6:30, I believe. 6:30.
Probably.
So that's downstairs in the community development conference room. So, again, and members of the public would like to come chat with us, feel free. Okay, public comment. Not seeing any members of the public remaining. I think we're good to move on to commissioner comments. Cynthia? Nothing. Tim?
Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you, thank you.
Welcome.
It's very interesting.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Not yet.
Gina?
The only thing I was gonna say, because when we were talking about, asking the public and stuff, is, I know it's not something that the Merrimack Conservation Commission created or does of anything, but the Merrimack Outdoors Facebook page, Steve Larson has been doing a good job of, talking about things that we've been doing. So even though they're not connected to the Merrimack Conservation Commission, he is sharing some good information, so.
Good.
So thank you, Steve.
Do you have all his contact information?
I can get a message to him on Facebook, yes. I don't have all of his contact information, but I'm sure he's watching tonight. Hi, Steve. And I can ask him if he would like to supply his
Yeah, I
contact
just think as
information.
we're kind of seemingly got some good head. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike. You
I don't have
nothing.
any comment.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to jump on Gina's comment then. It seems like we have some good headway going on our. We're trying to do at least one thing a month, and we're beating that in many cases, which is good. But certainly, if I sent the flyer out to you and everyone. I mean, that's one more person we could send that type of information out to, and he could post it if he's willing to. I mean, it's just events, so
Right.
they're not really anything other than what's already on our calendar. But
He's been really on top of things,
Yeah.
so he's obviously checking,
Yep.
our website and our agendas and our minutes and.
and we very much appreciate the engaged support. And if it's something we can do to make it a little easier by, hey, this is what's coming up, and we can send them flyers or notices, I'd be certainly willing to do that.
Okay, yep.
So okay.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, motion adjourned, passes, and it is 8:28. Passes.